you guys and girls in the Illumination. Time to jump aboard the Loom train. It's me, JJD, JJ the Illuminator here. The sweet one. Also known by almost countless other aliases and nicknames, but we won't get into that right now. Okay, I want to talk about, I talked a couple of days ago about buying a Christmas tree in 1996, and it reminded me about when we bought a Christmas tree, me and my family, in 1997. And it's funny, I don't know why I remember stuff like this. I always remember dates. I'm really good with faces, I'm really good with names, I'm really good with dates. I'm better with faces and dates than I am with names. I'm still good with names, just not as good as I am with faces or dates. Anyway, I'm good with ages too. I'm the only one in the family. People call up me to find out how old family members are. And I always remember stuff like that. Anyway, in 1997, my mother and father and I went out to Walmart this time. First time I can ever remember getting a real Christmas tree somewhere other than the little parking lot type thing in the neighborhood. That we always did something like that. I never remember going to a real store to get a Christmas tree. It just so happened that my mother and myself also, it was the first year we were working for Walmart. So I think that's where it all came from. And they had Christmas trees there, $9.97 and $19.97 were the two prices. Anyway, that being said, oh yeah, I remember prices too. It's all numbers. It's the math in me. Okay, so we're picking out a Christmas tree, and who do we see but the woman, the realtor that my parents bought their house from, who they've always stayed in touch with and in contact with and everything. So she's buying a tree, and a lot of these places, I'm not sure about your neck of the woods, but around here, if you get your tree from an actual real, department store, big box store or something, they after you buy your tree, they will put it in this netting stuff that will allow the tree to stay so you can get it home easier and everything. So a lot of times the trees come in, which I think in most cases, maybe not a lot of times, but in probably almost all cases, the trees are delivered that way. They cut them open just so people can see them, and then they put them back in that type of thing to buy. In a lot of places, around here anyway. She had picked out a tree that wasn't even out yet, which I guess we had never heard of. She picked a tree that still had that netting on it. And, my father was like, the king of picking out, trying to get the best Christmas tree for his money. Because we all know, when you get real trees, I mean, you can get some real weird trees sometimes. Not that it matters. Like, to someone like me, it doesn't really matter. To my father, it matters like you wouldn't believe. So, my father would, take forever looking for a tree. Anyway, he says, don't you even want to see what the tree looks like? And she said, I don't care. It's a tree. It's going to go up in the house. And it doesn't matter to her. Now, maybe it doesn't matter to a lot of people. To my father, he just couldn't understand how anybody would buy a tree, sight unseen. And it just ended up being something that ended up being one of those stories we told every Christmas. Just being able to remember that time that she bought the tree and it was still in the netting. Because I guess if you're trying to get more bang for your buck, you want to get the best you can for your buck. Especially, we took a lot of pictures and, families were different back then. They were bigger. There was more people around. There was more visiting. Nobody does that stuff anymore. The families are getting smaller and smaller as people get older and older. But it just ended up being the story to tell. One of these stories to tell. It seems like there's almost a funny Christmas story with almost every year that went by. But that's the one I was thinking about because it had to do with buying a tree. Not quite like the year before, but still a funny story. Because if you know this woman, it shouldn't surprise you that, the whole idea that she even has a tree seems to be the bigger thing. It's good enough, it's just good enough. So, anyway, hope this was a little bit entertaining for you. Anyway, so I hope you're having a great, today over here is a rainy day, but I kind of got caught in a downpour before I started this video. But that's the kind of day it is. But better rain than snow. So I hope you're doing well. I'm off to the races. Sail Aversky! Have a good rest of the day. Be good to yourselves. I love you all. This is the Illuminator, and I'll be back.
Hello, I need more porridge. If the two of you could stop giving each other rug burns with those giant sweaters.